to talk about math today. For math today, we're going to be using the same I can statement all week, but we're actually going to be doing some different conversions. So today, we're going to be able to describe relative size of measurements. So we're going to be doing lots of measuring things. Today, we're going to be measuring the heights of different things, and we're going to be using inches to feet to yards. So if you have a tape measure or a yardstick or a ruler, go find it and get ready for what we're going to do next. All right, friends, so I have my helper here today, and he's going to help me measure. So if you do not have anything to measure with, you can use the measurements on slide 6 to do your assignment. But if you have some sort of measuring tool, you can do this at home and use some of your family and some of the objects around your house. So the first person I'm going to measure is Owen. So I'm going to take my tape measure and I'm going to start measuring Owen. All right, bud, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Stand right there. Okay? All right, so I'm going to take my tape measure and I'm going to put the end of it, or the start of it, I guess I should say, all the way by his toes. Don't move. Here, you stand this way. Stand this way. Okay? I'm going to put it under his foot, and I'm going to go all the way up to the top. And he measures about 44 inches. So even though he's a little bit less than that 48 there, he was about 48 and a half. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm going to round it up to the closest inch. So you don't have to be exact. Just round it up to your closest inch there. So because he was 43 and a half, I'm going to round that up to 44 inches. Okay, so you're going to continue measuring things, and then you are going to plug them into Class-Kick.
Mommy.
So after you've measured 4 people or objects around your house, make sure they're kind of taller than at least like a foot, 3 feet. That way you're able to convert it to yards. And then you're going to go into Class-Kick and write all your measurements down. You're going to tell me what you measured. You're going to get a quick picture of them and post it in that square there. And then you're going to convert it from inches to feet and inches, and then you're going to convert it from yards and feet. So I am going to show you what I do on Class-Kick and how to convert. So I will flip it around and watch what's next. All right, friends, so once you are on Class-Kick, you are going to come over to slide 4, and this is where I have all of your instructions. So like I said, you're going to measure 4 people or 4 objects in inches around your house, and then you're going to be converting. So after you have your 4 objects and your measurements, you're going to put it in the corresponding thing. So I did 3 just to save a little bit of time. But I have a picture, I have what it is that I measured, and then what the inches were in that measurement. And remember, I rounded up. So if it's closer to 44, go with 44 inches. If it's closer to 43, go with 43 inches. You kind of make that decision on what you're going to put it closer to. Just make sure you get as accurate as possible. So what we're going to do, we're going to first measure it. We're going to convert it from the inches to feet and inches. And it says feet and inches because if you have a remainder, if it doesn't come exactly to feet, whatever is left over is going to be in inches. So what you're going to do, you're going to figure out 12 times what is going to give me that 44. You can think of it as 44 divided by 12. Especially if we know our 12s, you can figure out 12 times what gives you 44, or 12 times what is closest. So you could draw your circles and split it up evenly. You could just memorize it as your facts. So since I know my facts, I know that 12 times 3 gives me 36, and that's going to be the closest that I'm going to get. So my 3 here is what's going to be in my feet. So Owen is 3 feet. Okay, and I'm not all the way to 44. So now I have to take what his actual measurement was minus what I have as my equal when I times it by that certain number. So I'm going to subtract that 36. And I'm going to have 8. So this remainder here is going to be my inches. So Owen is 3 feet and 8 inches. Okay? So now you're going to convert it from your feet. So now you have 3 feet and 8 inches. You are going to convert that into yards and feet. So 3 feet gives you 1 yard. Okay, so 1 yard. So if we look at Owen's measurement, I already know that 3 feet gives me 1 yard. So I know I'm not going to have more than 1 yard here. So it's going to be 1 yard, but I still don't have quite enough of my remainder as my inches. So when I divide that, when I take that, I'm still going to write it as 1 yard and 8 inches because I don't have a full foot to write there. If I would have had 12 inches, then I could have had 1 yard and 1 foot. But because he's not quite that tall, we write it as 1 yard and 8 inches. Okay? So then you're going to do that same thing with the rest of your things. So let's do my next one. Let's look at my shelf. My shelf is 60 inches. So to figure out how many feet and inches I have, you need to just figure out 12 times what is going to get you to 60. Okay, so your 12 is how many inches it takes to make a foot. Your question mark is you're figuring out how many feet you are, and 60 is your actual measurement. Okay, so I know that 12 times 5 is going to put me closest, and it actually is spot on. Okay, so my 12 times 5 gives me 60. So my actual feet here is going to be 5 feet. Okay, and I have no inches. It was spot on. So my answer in this case would be 5 feet. Now to convert it into yards, you're going to be dividing. So you're going to take how many feet you have. So that would be your 5. Divided by how many feet it takes to make 1 yard, which would be 3. And that's going to give you your feet and your yards. So when you divide, you know that 3 can only go into 5 one time. So again, you're going to have 1 yard. Okay, so if you divide 3 into 5, you know you're only going to get it one time, and then you have that 2 left over, and that's going to be your feet in this case. So 1 yard and 2 feet is going to be your answer. Okay, and then my last one. This one is fairly simple because it gave me a very close measurement as the same thing as my shelf. So we're going to do the same thing that we did up there. Your 12 times what is going to get you to 64? Well, we already know that 12 times 5 is giving us 60 with that leftover of the 4. So in this case, we are going to have my blanket ladder is going to be 5 feet, because that's what this number gives you here. Whatever you're multiplying by 5, that's how many feet. And then whatever is left over, so you're going to subtract that 64 minus 60 to get your remaining inches. So 5 feet and 4 inches. Okay, so now when we look here, we're going to have 5 feet and 4 inches. So we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to divide it. divide my feet, which that is going to give me, again, going in one time, it's going to give me 1 yard with 2 feet left over. But then we also have our inches. So this one is going to be quite long. So here you're going to have 1 yard, 2 feet, and 4 inches. Okay, so once you have watched my video and you look at the conversion chart that I have posted on the Den, it gives you steps, exactly the steps that I took here on Class Kick, of how to convert from inches to feet and then feet to yards. So your assignment will be on slide 5. So you're going to do exactly like I did, but with your 4, and fill out all of that, and you can use the empty spaces to show your work, or you can do it on paper if you prefer paper. If you do not have a tape measure or anything that has inches on it, you can use the certain amount of inches that I have put on slide 6 to do your work. And then you will upload your finished work onto Seesaw. Good luck, mathematicians, and let me know if you have any questions, because today is a little bit harder than it typically is.